What is going on, guys? EK1 Gamer here, and welcome back to another Outriders video. In today's video, we're going to be showcasing a Devastator build. Well, it's just devastating for all those NPCs. With this build, we're also going to tell you how to one-tap any boss. You are literally just going to obliterate the boss. You're going to see it in the background right now. But if you do enjoy the video, be sure to hit the like button. And if you want to show some support to the channel, we're on the road to 50k. Let's get as many subs as we can. Also hit that notification bell to be notified every time we upload content. So the build works around two different things. One of them is slight cheese to do this one tapping of the boss. So when you one tap the boss, he's basically dead. As you can see, no hassle at all. And another one is just stacking damage. So there is a base build of it, and then there's a bit of a cheese where you can do this. So I'll show you about both of them now. So sit back, enjoy, and let's get straight into the build video. So first off, let's tell you about the skills that we're using. So today we're using Gravity Leap. So you leap into the air and you strike your targets from above, and that's going to deal 1 million damage, and it interrupts enemies within a small radius. We're going to be using the Earthquake, so 752,000. It's just basically a slam on the ground, and it's going to take some NPCs out. This is also going to put bleed on the NPCs as well, and give us a big boost in armor overshield. And then we're using Boulder Dash, so basically you just charge forward and do a slam, and that's going to do 1.7 million damage. Now on this here, this is all going to stack, so don't look at these base numbers because we are stacking damage with our build. So the base numbers are pretty good for the level that we're at. We're at tier 34, I believe, so these are pretty good for that stat, but we are going to be stacking more on top. When it comes to the skill tree or the class tree, we are going for anomaly power. And then we're going to go seismic cooldown, so reducing the cooldown of that slam. The skill leech, you know, get our health back on skill kills or skill hits. And then anomaly power again. And then basically anything kinetic, so we're going to reduce this cooldown for kinetic gravity leap and boulder dash. And then on here, we're increasing the firepower by 15% of our anomaly power because we are over 1 million anomaly. So we're going to increase our firepower a bit. And then it's important to have the bleed durations. And then also the bleed afflicted on enemies deals 30% more damage. We're going for increase your armor bonus by 40% of your anomaly power. Again, because we've got a lot of anomaly power there. And then we are healed for 25% of our bleed damage. We're going to be putting bleed on constantly. That's with our weapons and with our skills. And then we increase our armor by 20% and resistance by 20% for 10 seconds when your skills end. Bonus does not stack. So this is just because we can get to the next level here. Bleed afflicted on enemies deal 30% more damage. You definitely want this one. And then again, increase seismic skill base damage. So the slam is increased by 50% damage. And of course, we are going to be doing bleed with that as well. With the PAX points, I've gone slightly different to other people here. Like people go all the way down here, or they'll just go here or here, but I've just sort of mixed and matched it, and I found this to be really good. So the first one is your seismic and kinetic skill damage is increased by additional 30% of your anomaly power. Bonus damage is split among all damaged enemies. So we've got that right there. Then we've got obliteration. Increase your anomaly power and resistance piercing by 6%. Each damaged enemy increases the bonus by 3% up to additional 9% for 3 seconds. Then we've got Earth and Shell, so damage dealt with skills is converted to shield. That is really important. You'll see on the footage we have a full blue shield all of the time. That pretty much doesn't go down if we're using our skills. Then we go in terms of engagement. This is where the build comes into its own. This is how you can one tap, and I'll explain how you can one tap a little bit later in the video. But 60% of damage dealt by kinetic skills is stored and added to your next kinetic skill. The effect resets every time you release your stored damage. And then enemies damaged by both seismic and kinetic skills within 4 seconds receive 15% more damage for 4 seconds. So all of our skills are in there. So basically we're just increasing our damage, we're stacking. So when we use one skill, you're stacking it for another skill. On the Ascension, I am trying to fill out the whole top part here, but anomaly power is important, status power, and anomaly damage. And then damage against elites, so it's an extra 5.5% damage against elites. Close range damage, because we are close to the NPCs when we're using our weapons. And then I'm just going to go up for skill leech and resistance pierce. After that, I'm basically just going to fill all of this area here, so crit chance, cooldown, and all that. And then I'm going to go on to brutality and then endurance. So taking a look at the build, you can see here we have 715k firepower, 1.3 million anomaly power, 115k health, and 1 million armor. Now for the weapons, what I'm doing is using 2 different weapons with different mods. So this one here is the Reaper. It has Fortress on it, so shots increase your current armor and resistance by 5%, stacking up to 3 times. And then when it's at maximum stacks, it's 20% damage increase for 10 seconds. We've also got Death Chains on here, so shots entangle an enemy with chains. That deals 1.8 million damage over 3 seconds. And then Sandstorm, so when you shoot it conjures a sandstorm, dealing 2.6 million damage over 5 seconds. This is a very good weapon. The one that really you want on here is Fortress. Fortress is a very good mod to have. Then we're using Deathscape. So with the Deathscape, this is really important. You want to be able to inflict toxic, bleed, and whatever else status you can. So for us, we've got Stigmatized. So this inflicts toxic when we're shooting targets, and it deals 1.3 million damage. And then we've got Omen, a must-have mod on any build, really. It shoots, shots launch a cover-piercing anomaly projectile that inflicts bleed. And this deals 1.5 million damage. But we've got Toxic on now. So we're inflicting Toxic and we're inflicting bleed. And then we've got at the end, because you can't change the last mod, we've got Shadow Comet. So cool down a comet, dealing 1.8 million damage to enemies within a 3.5 meter radius. This actually helps out. It actually does well. It does a lot of damage if you just want to do some gunplay and kill some NPCs with your weapons. Now on here, it doesn't really matter what's on your pistol, but I've got Shield Maiden and then Damage Link. Doesn't really matter. You can have whatever you like. Now we are going to be utilizing 3 pieces of seismic armor. Now the 3-piece seismic basically increased damage towards enemies with bleed by 50%. So you can see why we're going after the bleed. So any enemy that's on bleed will increase damage by 50%. But also on top of that, we'll have Virulent Compound as a mod. So deal 10% more damage to elites affected by toxic. So we've already got toxic on them. This is going to give us an extra 10%. And we've also got then Earthquake, so inflicts bleed on enemies. So again, the Earthquake is going to inflict bleed. So we're going to have bleed everywhere. And then Danger Close grants a 6% anomaly power bonus for each enemy in close range. Stacks up to 4 times. We're generally in close range of our enemies anyway. So this is it works out really well. You want anomaly power, status power, skills, life, leech. Now for the chest piece, I'm going seismic again. Anomaly power, status power, cooldown reduction. We've got Bloody Lust, so boost your damage against enemies afflicted with bleed by 8%. So there you go, there's more damage against enemies that are with bleed. We've got Earthquake, increases the skill's range by 60%. And then the last slot here is an empty slot. It's basically a useless slot for us, but we will be looking for a better chest piece to try and get something more relevant in there. And the leg armor, we're using seismic leg armor as well. So anomaly, status, and cooldown again. We're going Tainted Blood. Increase the damage dealt to enemies afflicted with bleed by 16%. Again, you see what we're doing. We're stacking this damage against enemies with bleed. And then also Euthanasia is deal 16% more damage against enemies affected by toxic. So we're actually doing 16% more on that as well. So one weapon here deals toxic and bleed at the same time, and we're getting then 16% more damage on each of those, even with our skills and everything else. So we're literally just stacking that damage. We also have Primal Chain Gun, so every enemy damaged by the skill increases your weapon damage by 20% for 5 seconds. It stacks up to 5 times. So you're going to get massive damage with your weapons after you do your boulder dash if they don't die during the boulder dash. Now for the gloves, I've opted to go for just some standard purple gloves. with anomaly power, long range damage, close range damage. What you want is like anomaly, skill, or cooldown, or status power, but I just haven't got any better ones at the moment. But you want 3 mods, of course. So I've gone Primal Knuckle Duster. So Boulder Dash, it increases the skill's damage by 921,000. Then Despair, enemies within the damage radius of your gravity leap will receive 2 times more anomaly damage for 5 seconds. And then Power Simulation, boost your anomaly power by 130,000 for each elite present on the battlefield. So I want to get some better gloves for there. You could probably change that last power simulation actually, but I want anomaly status or anomaly cooldown, anomaly skill, something like that on the actual armor stats. Then the foot gear, again, we can kind of move this around slightly. I've just gone for a random foot gear of the cannonball because it's got anomaly, cooldown, and skills life leech. But we got ready for anything, so 5% of critical damage dealt to elites is returned to you as health. And then Captain Hunter, which is a must-have, increase your damage against elites by 16%. And then we got Primal Constitution. Each enemy you damage increases your maximum health by 25,000 for 5 seconds, and it stacks up to 5 times. That's with the Boulder Dash. So if we are running through NPCs, we're going to get an extra sort of 100k or 125k extra health. So we're keeping ourselves alive. We're doing good damage. As you can see in the footage, we're doing absolutely incredible damage, and we can one-tap bosses. Now, the way that we one-tap bosses is... it's kind of a little bit of a cheese right now in the game. I don't know if you could count it as like a glitch or something. I'm not too sure. But basically what you do is, if you're not the host in a game, so you've joined your friend, so join on your friend, don't use your Boulder Dash. Just literally use both of these skills, so Gravity Leap and Earthquake. Just keep on using those two. And what you'll do is you'll see these numbers, if you go into your menu, keep stacking up. At one point I have Boulder Dash at like 30 million. So just they keep stacking up. They don't release. So when it stores the 60% from the packs tree, so when it stores this 60% here, they don't release the 60%. It just buffs your damage. So when you get to a boss and you they put some bleed and toxic on and then just hit them with a gravity leap or run through a Boulder Dash, the boss will die because you're doing way too much damage. It almost turns into negative damage. In fact, it shows as negative 1 billion. So if you're doing this, just be careful. I don't know if this is legit. I don't know if this is kind of... I'm assuming you can't get banned or anything like that for it because it's just in the game. The the ambassador group have made people aware of this. So, Square Enix and everyone are aware that this is a thing and it's working like this. I don't think it's meant to work like this. I think this is just a bug. But hey, if you want to use it, you can utilize that. If you do want to do the farm for the unlimited XP, that's not bannable at all. That's no cheese involved in that. It's literally starting up a mission and just killing all the NPCs. This is the build that I used on that video. The video will be linked in the description and probably in the top right corner now as well. So if you want to know how to get unlimited XP, then go ahead and click that video. Now, with all that being said, guys, I hope today's video has been enjoyable for you. Let me know in the comments section below what your favorite Outrider is, what build you're running, and what build I should look at next. Take care, everybody. Stay safe, and we'll see you all in the next video.